Hello friends, today I'm going to talk about Brahms Symphony No. 4, all of it. So I have spent the last few weeks taking about 20 hours to do a bar-by-bar harmonic analysis of Brahms Symphony No. 4, a real deep dive into it. I took time lapses of me analyzing all 1,226 measures of it, which I'm going to show to you in a second. But while that's playing, this ultra sped up version of that studying, I am going to give you the speed program notes of it and try to talk in as quickly as I can, talk to you about what this symphony is about and the salient musical features of it and what I think is great about it. I'm going to cheat just a little bit and give you just a tiny bit of background information on the composer. Johannes Brahms, 1833 to 1897, German-Austrian composer, mid-romantic in style. He wrote four symphonies, a few concerti, a big amount of chamber works and works for piano, never touched opera, but that's Brahms. And we're going to talk about his Symphony No. 4, which is his last symphony. So, let's talk about it. Okay, so movement 1, we're going to talk about the first theme because it's crucial to the rest of the movement. Here's the first theme. It's all built off of thirds. Listen to this again. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. Just going down thirds. Similarly, ba-da, 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 ba-da. Same thing. The second theme when it comes up. Do you hear that in the bass line? Ba-da, ba, ba, ba. Thirds. It's all about thirds, man. So, and similarly, ba-da, ba-da, this is the little closing theme that we get. It's a nice bit of contrast. It's just outlining thirds. Ba-da, 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 da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da. There it is. Thirds. It's all great. He develops this a lot. It's a huge it's really a huge expansion of these ideas throughout this big sonata form. He ends it in a really tragic, big E minor place. So let's go on to the second movement. The second movement is much more about just kind of giving us a few really nice, beautiful themes, almost as a palate cleanser from the last movement, which was a behemoth. So the first theme we get is in the low woodwinds and the strings plucking along. It's really nice. Listen. Lovely, right? And I'll give you the second one too, just for good measure. The second one we can hear it in the strings. Here it is later on when it appears in E major. This is classic Brahms. It's lush. Really wonderful inner lines. Really beautiful. It's great. Let's keep going. The third movement. The third movement is a scherzo. Scherzo means joke, and there's a lot of humor in here. Scherzos also usually have a lot of forward momentum. They're quick, and this one has triangle thrown in, which is a little uncharacteristic for Brahms, but it works. So, here's the first theme. Great, let's pick that apart a bit because there's already humor in here. So, what's happening here? Bar 5, and suddenly we're just stuck on this chord. And later on, when this comes back, he expands that out. He sticks there for 4 beats and then throws it up in the winds and then does it again. And it just becomes this whole thing. Something that was not that important a second ago becomes structural in the importance of this piece. Similarly, this little so that's a bit of a odd little modulation, but it's so quick, we end up right back where we're supposed to be in C major. Now, near the end of the piece, we end up at A major. How are we going to end up back at the key that we need to end up at? Oh, right. That'll do it. And instead of switching back to A major, we're just kind not already in C major, where we need to be. It's so clever. He takes these very unassuming bits and makes them structural in how important they are. Okay, last movement is a Passacaglia. Passacaglia, listen to this for a second. Why am I playing that? I'm playing that because that comes up in everywhere in this piece. It's all built off of that. You're going to hear that theme repeated somewhere in the entire movement. So the first movement, you'll hear it in the top voice. It's very stern and dark, isn't it? It's great. Brahms at his darkest is lovely. But later on, we hear it very, very differently, where now it's going to be in major, and it's going to be in the bass voice. Check this out. Huge difference in tone. It's incredible. This ends up going back into that very, very dark territory that we had in the first movement and ends in the same very tragic E minor sound. So it's really, really important, though, to bear in mind that this is Brahms' last symphony, and he lived long after. This isn't his last symphony because he didn't get to write a fifth symphony. He didn't write a fifth symphony. This is his last statement. This is his last word in the symphony, and he chooses to write a Passacaglia based off of a Bach motet. That theme is from Bach. This is a very, conservative, looking backwards kind of thing, and he's making a case, in my opinion, for what he thinks a symphony should be. It's not about musical narrative to him. It's not about, ties to the earlier music material or cyclic themes or any of this kind of mid-romantic, late-romantic stuff. That's all fluff. To him, what it is about the standalone craft of a piece. Music as absolute music, standing on its own as a behemoth, as its own thing with its own quality, and that's what music should be to Brahms. So, anyway, that's Brahms Symphony number 4. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for indulging me, and I hope to see you again soon. Woo! I am out of breath.